Hi, it's Tash from Tash's Library. Today's video is going to be looking at some more 2024 releases. This includes 3 fantasy books and a sci-fi book. And this time there's quite a mix in terms of how much I enjoyed these books. So I'm going to kind of go with my favorite one first, just because why not? You know, I know it's good to end strong, but I'm going to start strong. First one I want to look at is What Feasts at Night by Kingfisher. Now, this is the second book in the Sworn Soldier series, and it's the sequel to What Moves the Dead. It follows Alex, an ex-soldier who returns to their country home to find that there is a resident horror. I absolutely loved the menacing setting, atmosphere of this book. I loved the developments of the main character and supporting characters. There was some really deep exploration of things like PTSD in this. I really liked a massive commentary on war, and the supporting character Angus and Miss Potter are incredible. It's also got a very satisfying conclusion. So there's really nothing I disliked about this book at all. And really, if you're looking for a creepy short read with endearing characters and some horror elements, then read this book. The second book I want to discuss is Sunbringer, which is another sequel. This time the sequel in the Fallen Gods series by Hannah Kaner. The first book is God Killer. And this follows Treason, who's a god killer for hire, who finds herself unable to kill a god of white lies in order to save a young girl. And Sunbringer picks up pretty much where God Killer ended, because it did end with a bit of a cliffhanger. The threat in this book has significantly increased. The stakes are much higher. No one is safe. And so there is definitely that sense of menace throughout the book. I really like the cool world. The world building in this is just amazing. It's really engaging, engrossing. It's also got great rising action at the end. And Treason, once again, is just the kick-ass character. I loved her in the first book, and I love her in the second book. For me, though, I only gave this a 4-star because it sort of lacked the journey elements and camaraderie of the first novel, which is what I loved about it. So it felt a little bit less purposeful at times. But if you love unique magic systems and animal companions, then this is a series for you. Then I'll go on to the sci-fi book that I read, which was Floating Hotel by Grace Curtis. And I gave this 3 stars. It follows Carl, who as a young boy stowed away on the Floating Hotel, which is a luxury space liner. But now 40 years later, he's the manager of the ship. And the book then follows various point of view characters and does it in a sort of slice of life way, where it explores the life of different guests and hotel employees. But not everything is as it seems. This is a galaxy controlled by a dictatorial empire. So there's an underlying sense of menace there, of dissatisfaction with life. There is a peril. There is potential rebellion. There is definitely things going on under the surface. Now, I kind of went into this book expecting it to be a bit of a murder mystery. It was not a murder mystery. This is a slice of life with mysterious happenings in terms of the fact that you don't actually know what the character motivations are, and you're just gradually finding that out. I really like that slice of life pace of the book. It was actually felt like a very calming read. I love the exploration of the personal histories, what brought people to work or stay at the hotel, and just really enjoyable. So highly recommended for that reason. For me, though, I felt that it wasn't very strong in exploring that found family. It sort of hinted at it, the idea that these employees should have discovered some sort of found family or family on the ship, but I didn't really get a sense of the closeness of the relationships, the connections between people, and also a few character motivations were left unexplained, which wasn't as satisfying for me. And finally, I read the first book in Can't Spell Treason Without T. This is the first book in the Tomes and Tea Cozy Fantasy series by Rebecca Thorne, and I gave this 3 stars. It follows Raina and Kianthe, who leave the Big Smoke to open this bookshop that serves tea in a small town. Raina is escaping her role as a queen's private guard, while Kianthe wants some sort of respite from her role as a powerful mage. I really liked that this was a very positive, already established romance. So there's no real angst in the romance. There's no toxicity. I really enjoyed that. I love romances that are non-toxic. It also had some really cool supporting characters, and I sort of wanted more. It had dragons. Dragons are always cool. And it's really cool small town setting as well. But for me, I'm probably not going to continue with this series. I don't think I'm going to read the second book. And the reason for that is there was just, first of all, there were very implausible plot points. So just kind of the way they established the bookshop didn't make sense to me. The resolution of the final crisis was incredibly implausible to me, really requiring a character to act out of character. And to me, it was almost a silly resolution. It felt flat after the rising tension. And the supporting characters weren't well enough developed. They had great promise. I wanted to know more about them. I wanted to get to know them. I was disappointed in that. There was also an attempt at found family, similar as to the floating hotel, but once again, not sufficiently developed into deep relationships. Also, whilst I liked the stability of the romance, there was a little bit too much flirting, too much cringy romance talk at times, which I didn't find appropriate to the rest of the tone of the book. And also, like, if you're out for a cozy read, this wasn't quite cozy. It had the cozy vibes, but then the stakes were incredibly high. So it felt like it had a little bit of an identity crisis there. Having said that, that's quite a unique approach. So, I mean, if you like small town settings, you like the idea of dragons and high stakes with some sort of coziness in the background, then definitely give it a go. Like, the characters are wonderful to read about, so I'd recommend it for that reason. And that's it. The 4 new releases that I have read. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and until I see you next time, take care.